Good morning, everyone. No, not morning where you're at. That's okay, because you can have eggs for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Welcome to episode 31 of Three Eggs Are Better Than One. I am Brad Stanton, along with fellow eggs Matt M. and Brian Haremza. We would like to thank everyone for the positive feedback from last week. Uh, what was it? Was it the character one?
It was a
Wow.
character one, yes,
Seems like
yes.
so our least favorite characters from our favorite characters from our shows. You get the drift. This is what we're going to be doing now. So anyway, I'm happy. Brian's happy. Is Matt happy? What's your sunny side up this week? Oh, let's go with Matt, even though it says Bryant first.
So my sunny side up is I had a positive experience. I went to a Broadway show recently. It was called Stranger Things, The First Shadow, which is, of course, based on the Netflix show Stranger Things, a very popular show. And it's called The First Shadow because it is a prequel to the series on Netflix. If you're a fan of the show, you would definitely love it. The production value, I mean, like any Broadway show, is very top notch. But, here we are in 2025 when amazing things can be done. And video wise, amazing, sound wise, amazing, stage movements. Um, all of that was pretty darn good stuff. Actually, as we record, I think the Tony Awards are tonight. It's not really my thing, but I know that this particular show was nominated for a lot of those production elements. And I wouldn't be surprised if it won because it was really good stuff. Story-wise, it was pretty good. It made sense when connecting to the existing story. It kind of felt like I thought it felt like if you're a Star Wars fan, how Rogue One was like a connecting prequel to Episode 4. I think you guys know what I mean by that. So I kind of got that vibe from it. I'm not the biggest fan of the show. I do watch the show. I've seen them all. There's one season left. Looking forward to it, but I'm not like some obsessed fan. But it really was great. I'm not a big play or Broadway guy, but three eggs out of three.
Well, glad you liked it. I don't have
Brian,
much.
I'm pretty sure Brian watches the show, or his wife does.
My wife does, yes. I've seen one season exactly. So I we still my wife keeps saying all the time we need to start season two before the final season starts. So we'll get there.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a very dense story, and there's a lot of characters. It's kind of tough to blow through, but it's a good
Can you
show.
go to this play or musical without knowing anything?
Uh, I think yes, but I wouldn't recommend it.
What kind of sustainability does that have?
I think it's doing really well.
Okay. That's interesting because there was a movie that came out a long time ago. David Duchovny, what was that science fiction-y?
X-Files?
Yeah, X-Files. And then they made a movie out of it. And if you didn't watch the series, you were not going to get the movie. And
Oh, well, that was like a continuing part of the story, like that happened.
I don't agree with doing that, but
Well, they were capitalizing on the fan base at the time. That was like the 90s. Everything was different then.
yeah, different time for sure. All right, so my sunny side up is short and sweet. Next weekend is Father's Day weekend, and I am off Saturday and Sunday. Working at my I was moved to Cadillac. We get one Saturday off a month, which is really nice. And it just happened to be that this is the Saturday that I got. Don't really have any plans for Saturday at all. But I'm looking for, I don't think I've ever had off that weekend. And so Sunday, my wife asked me what I want to do. So I don't know what Frank's situation is. He's probably not going to be here. I'm 99% sure he's not going to be here. The combat training should be over, but I believe he goes straight to Florida unless something changes. I decided I wanted to see how to train a dragon. What are you doing? Brunch? I'm not doing brunch. How to train your dragon, which is the new live action version of that movie. I really enjoyed the first animated one. We're gonna watch it in 3D, and then from there we're gonna go to the Iron Hill. That's it. But Exciting for a relaxing weekend, not thinking about work. Just about dad.
It's good.
Yeah.
I have to laugh because Sue as well loves How to Train Your Dragon.
Hmm.
So to hear you say that kind of makes me laugh. So
Yeah,
I
I
was
always liked it. I think it's very entertaining stuff. And my wife says that last year we went and saw If, which was Imaginary Friends as a family for Father's Day. She says she sees a pattern here of you wanting everybody to be a lot younger than they are. Well, maybe, and it's my day, so with one day only, if that's what I want, that's what I get.
No, she psychoanalyzed you there.
Yeah, whatever.
I
We'll see what
like
happens next.
that.
See what happens next year. There'll be something out.
That's
yeah.
good. My wife as well likes those movies because I think there was two animated ones.
Yeah.
I have never seen them.
Hmm.
Just haven't.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Mhm.
And it's 3D. And I mean, I'm not really sure what's going on with Burger King with this. It's not a children's meal. It's like an adult meal for
It's
How
an
to Train Your
adult
Dragon.
meal. Yeah.
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 And it comes with this crazy reddish bun with black sesame seeds on it or
It's like
something like that.
it's like red and orange, like fire.
Yeah.
So
And then the French fries are breaded. Am I seeing that as well? It's a crazy meal, but yet there's a strawberry lemonade involved. Not sure where that fits in.
What?
I do love me a strawberry lemonade.
And
So
then there's a sundae as well that has some kind of something to do with the way they breathe fire. I didn't
Huh.
do enough research on it to speak this well, So anyway, Bryant, what do you got?
for me, I'm going sunny side up as a total old man. Uh, it has been raining here a lot the last week, essentially. It's been very dry here in Nebraska. We are a very farm heavy community, farm heavy state. So to actually have some rainfall and get some moisture in the air, I enjoy it because I am horrible with lawn care. So it is making my lawn look amazing for once rather than looking dead all the time. But for me, it's rain because then the other part for me is it doesn't slow my business down a little bit, but it kind of puts a little bit of a stop to it. Not full stop, but we slow down to where it's a little more easy to manage, easier to take care of, and then we're not as much of a panic to get things ready for the weekend. So going full old man, sunny side up. I love rain. Can't help
So
that.
rain slows down people drinking soda?
Yeah, because not a lot of people get out and about to go buy it.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. Because I
Yeah,
think we'd
so
be drinking more soda at home.
you would think so, but yeah, no. More people stay home or they do the delivery or pickup option, but a lot of them still don't even want to get out to do that because they don't want to get wet. Like
Yeah,
even our Walmart here, when it rains, sees a decrease in pickup traffic.
we had a delivery at 11 o'clock at night from Walmart. What is that?
Why would
It's
you
just,
do that late?
and guess what? There was Dr. Pepper involved.
Of course there
Zero.
is.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, who is this woman pulling up to my house at 10 to 11? I'm just taking the dogs out. Now the dogs are barking. Hun, she just doesn't want to even leave the house. Things have just gotten a lot simpler, haven't they?
Yeah. And let's be realistic, that delivery feature, oh, it's so nice. Just perfect. So Brad?
Well, very good. Very good. All right, hard boiled time. And I've been holding on to this story for a while because we are a little peek behind the curtain. We're behind in our recordings here. As we record this, the show comes out the next day. Usually we record a few days in advance. Okay. So yeah, and it is literally all Matt M's fault, but that's okay. We're here for him. There was no arguments this time, nothing like that. Do you too? And if you do, just say yes. I don't want you to give away anything else. Do you two know what a blow mold is?
A what?
Blow mold.
I guess not.
Okay. All right. So I usually don't tell work stories, but since this is not work related, I find out later, I'm going to tell it. Guy walks in, comes straight to my desk. Okay. I'm in a small office kind of facing out towards the showroom with no door on it. That's the way I'm set up there. He comes right into my office and says he needs to speak to the service manager. I say, okay, sure. I go, is he expecting you? He is. So I bring him back there, and the service manager was actually had a doctor's appointment. He wasn't going to be back for a little bit. I had no idea how long. So I tell the guy that, and he says, well, he goes, I drove from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Angry at me. I said, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there somebody else that can help you? What are you here for? He says, I'm here for blow molds. Now, again, I'm not registering anything here. that what a blow mold is. Okay, so I'm assuming that a blow mold is something to do with some kind of service, for a car. I don't know. I'm just kind of like trying to help the guy. So I go to one of the service advisors and I say, says he's here for blow molds, and he goes, I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, okay. So I say, well, he's not here. I go, he shouldn't be too long. He goes, well, how long is he going to be? I said, I don't know. I go, I mean, he's coming back to work, so it shouldn't be too long. He goes, well, is he on his way back? I don't know. Well, I'm not going to wait around if he's not on his way back. I don't know. We had tried to call him, by the way. So then he's in his van out front, and I had to help a customer, and the guy is just staring a hole through me, staring a hole through me. And I'm like, this is getting uncomfortable. So I'm back at my desk now, and he walks in at me and he says, did I tell you that I drove from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania? Now, if just to keep in mind, Bethlehem's about an hour and a half from where I'm at. I said, you did? He goes, is there any way you can get in contact with him? I go, I'm really not comfortable doing that. So then I come to find out from one of the sales guys that a blow mold is a like Christmas decoration. We're talking like your plastic Santa Claus, your plastic snowmen that you put in your yard. Okay. First off, I didn't know that's what they were called. You know what I call them? Plastic Santa, plastic snowman. That's what I call him. Blow mold sounds like something else. Sounds like something dangerous almost. So then I find this out, and the guy comes up to me again. Now I'm heated. Because what am I doing involved in this bullshit? Okay. And he comes up to me, he goes, and he says, can you get a hold of this guy? I go, first off, I don't appreciate you putting me in the middle of this. I find out this is a personal matter, and you're putting me in the middle of this and making me uncomfortable. And he says, I can respect that. He goes, but is there respect for you to laugh in my face? Now, I'm not laughing. I'm just trying to I'm kind of like the way I am now. I'm not laughing. I go, let me tell you something. There is no situation I would rather not be in than this one right now. So I'm not laughing. So I gave him his number because I'm done now. And they worked it out, and he got what he needed. And then I went up to the guy and he said, I can't believe you gave that guy my number. I'm like, you're lucky I didn't give me your home address. Okay. I go, that is 10 minutes. I'll never get back. I have not felt threatened like that. I'm almost 50 years old. I don't get into fights anymore. Okay. I don't cause trouble. This guy was ready to fight me over blow molds, freaking stupid Santa Clauses. What are you charging for him? $50 for the whole thing? You drove an hour and a half. How much gas did you use? Fired up. Man, I was fired up. That's hard boiled.
Questions.
Hard boiled.
So this had nothing to do with work whatsoever. It was
nothing.
Just a rendezvous point. So how could the guy who was looking to collect think that anyone else that worked there would have any business or care about what he wanted?
Right. So who are you talking about? The guy that came in and was giving me a hard time?
Yeah.
Or the guy? Yeah. Like, why were you putting me in the middle of this? You know where you're at. Okay. You know you're at, and you know that we don't sell those here. We don't sell blow molds here. Okay. I found out one month later, and we don't sell them here. So leave me out of it. Whatever Facebook bullshit marketplace you got involved with. And I'm sure that this was like a lunch break situation here where they're going to just meet, like, whatever. No big deal. We were at work a long time, 8 to 11, 9 to 11, or 9 to 8. Sometimes you can do some personal things. Not a big deal. It's not that, but leave me the hell out of it and stop acting like an asshole to me.
So when he asked for something that you were unsure of what it was, why didn't you ask him? Like, why didn't you say, I don't know what you're talking about? Does this have anything to do with vehicles?
All right. Well, no, I just assumed. I don't know every part of every car. I assumed it was. Someone walks into my place of work. I'm assuming they're there for something that has to do with my place of work. And I don't think that's a stupid assumption.
Can't assume anymore.
Well, it'll never happen again. I promise you that. Now I know what the hell a blow mold is, and it's going to be the next desk is what it's going to be. Hard boiled. And I think I have every right to be hard boiled. And this is my life. This is my life. This is something that would happen to me.
Man, I can't wait to clip this for next week. Ah.
Overpriced eggs. What is overpriced eggs? Something we've grown out of.
Something we've grown out of.
So that could be a lot of things, Matt.
Could be a lot of things.
What have you grown out of?
What have I grown out of? How about sharing my Amazon Prime account? Or rather, having used my friend's Amazon Prime account for many, many, many years. Now, it's been a few years since I've had my own, but man, there was like a dozen of us using this one friend's account forever. And it got messy. Who's ordering what? Whose gift card is here? How many addresses are in the address book? Could not keep track of this. Finally had to grow up and start paying for my own account.
I don't know what to say to that.
I mean, I'm sure everyone on here has shared or is sharing some sort of account of some kind. Password sharing.
Well, I'll tell you this: freaking, Gadsden, Alabama is somehow connected to my Netflix
Right.
and my Hulu. And guess what? Gadsden, Alabama is Adam from Bama, and I have talked about this on the show. So yeah, he is sharing my account, which is fine. Bryant disappeared. He did say he might have to jump off for a minute. Oh, he's back. Bye, honey. Have a great rest of your day. Love you. Um, so, but I get it. It's just like when you're a kid and you have insurance, right? And you have your parents' insurance, your parents' insurance, your parents' insurance. Well, one day you have to get your own insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very similar.
I was actually just going to ask if you were using Adam from Bama's Prime subscription, but or if he was one of the people using it.
Does Prime even go to Alabama?
What's that?
Does Prime even go to Alabama?
I don't know, but we all did. Well,
We
two
all
out of
did.
three. Are you?
Yeah.
Did you go?
No, I haven't. No, but I was about to say we've all. I'm going to say like no, I haven't been there.
I've actually been to Alabama many times.
I've been there once, and probably my last time. But it was fine. It was fine. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Great weekend that was. So next for me, so a lot of things you outgrow is food sometimes, right? So something I really enjoyed when I was younger that I just don't. I had it later in life, and it's just not the same. There's a lot of kids' foods, right? One of them is Chef Boyardee to me, like beefaroni, little raviolis. I mean, when I was a kid, I'd rather have had that than my mom's homemade sauce. Okay, that which makes zero sense. But it's just your taste buds are different. Now as an adult, I mean, if I have to eat it, I will, but I don't want it. And it's not anything better than any like somebody's homemade sauce. It's spaghetti in a can. And I have absolutely outgrown it. Brian doesn't agree.
As someone who as someone who just had Chef Boyardee mini raviolis for lunch, I can't really fight this. I love them. It's the perfect little lunchtime snack for me. Of if I'm home on the weekends, yeah, just dump in a bowl, throw in the microwave, good go.
That's
love
easy.
them.
I'll give you that.
I love it for that. It's the convenience.
Let me ask you this one.
Okay.
When the Big Show had, or was it Mankind or whatever from wrestling, had their they were in like doing it where you were super excited when they were on the can?
Not really. I didn't really care. I mean, it was cool, but I didn't really care. I was still buying them. So
I thought maybe you had a can collection somewhere.
no, God, no. Even when we bought them, I still threw the can away. So it's not like I have a Chef Boyardee with Mick Foley on it somewhere in my house.
All right. Well, one of our good friends Conrad would say that they're still getting miles out of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, it still shows up on stuff. So
what about you,
me,
big guy?
So for me, my thing that I outgrew made a comeback here in the 2020s. It made a comeback, and I couldn't get into it because I had outgrown it when I was young. And I'm talking of Pokemon. When I was younger, man, I tried to collect them all. I was begging my parents for money so I could go buy packs of cards. I would do the battles with my friends at lunch. At recess, we're battling more with these cards. I'm trying to collect all these cards. I've got family members I'm trying to trade with and all of this. And then one day I went to junior high and this girl that I liked told me Pokemon was dumb. So I thought it was dumb too because I wanted to date her. And so at that point, I just kind of like let it go. And then when it came back, I was like, oh, maybe I'll try again. And just none of it appealed to me. It's just not that I'm saying it's a bad thing. Kids enjoy it. It's a Pokemon Go. Send your kid out to chase Pokemon. That's great. But for me, I just couldn't get into it. Once I left, I never went back. And it's just something that eventually I just outgrew altogether. And now when I see it, it makes me laugh, but it's just not something that intrigues me anymore.
That's what you outgrew. Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you outgrew. That's what was uncool.
Yeah, that was the coolest thing ever. And then boom, just not cool anymore. Just
Are you still with this girl?
No.
Just
No,
thought
of course not.
because there's no way because the girl now puts up with a lot of
Oh,
uncool things. Let's face it, right?
so much uncool things. Yes. I mean, this room alone would tell you that. But yeah, no, not her. She doesn't care. So, but yeah,
Okay.
no, not with that girl either. So,
Did you ever play Pokemon Go?
I watched my friend do it, and I told him he looked stupid. So
I did it once.
that's
I did it once.
was it fun? Like it doesn't look
Um,
appealing. Like
so I think it was COVID,
yes, it was COVID.
and
That's when it took off.
there was not a lot to do with
Hmm.
the family. Nothing was open, but outside was outside, and we have a place here. It's the Bristol Wharf, and down there was just a lot of they put a lot of the characters there, and we went down there and did it, and everybody down there was doing it. So I did it
And
once just to get some exercise, I think, for everybody.
oh yeah, and that thing took over too. Like it was the thing, like you said, it was COVID, so it was something to do to go outside,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't wrap my head around the Pokemon part of it. That I was like, I'll just go outside. Like I don't need to be chasing things like this.
Matt, you got anything to say?
I never cared about Pokemon as a kid. My son currently collects the cards. He doesn't actually like play anything,
Hmm,
but
good.
he's interested in it. We have some books. And let me tell you, like children's books, they're terrible, terrible books. It's just words. There's
Yeah,
just it makes no
that's
sense.
what a book is. It's
Yeah,
words
it's
on a
words all
page.
put together to form a sentence. Many of them.
But these sentences are not good.
They're not Mad M sentences.
No.
All right, Matt, did you decide if you were going to do a scrambled eggs or did you have another idea? Everybody, we have an allergy happening currently. Matt M is coughing, and it
Okay.
looks like something that could go on for several
I'm
seconds.
okay.
Now, you're
There he
okay?
is. All
Okay,
right. You're
good.
good.
Because
You're
I
good.
saw
Okay.
this happen recently where it took a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Not you.
Yeah,
Not you.
breathing has been earlier in the week I could not breathe. Today's better. Okay, so scrambled eggs is inconsistencies. I didn't want to do it at first, and I came up with something here. So you asked for it. How about let's discuss, is there any logic to the naming of streets, roads, avenues, the land we drive on? Because there are guidelines, suggestions, not random ways that we are supposed to be naming our streets, but it is very inconsistently used. And this website, where I read some of these definitions, kind of made me laugh. So I got this from Vox.com, how streets, roads, and avenues are different. Road, the most general category, a way that connects 2 points. Street, a public way with buildings on both sides. Often it runs perpendicular to an avenue. Now is when it starts to get funny to me. An avenue is a public way, often in a city, usually with trees or buildings on the side.
Hell out of here.
Frequently, it runs perpendicular to a street. Now, after I read this, I was driving around town trying to pay attention to some of the naming schemes, and I'm like, this an avenue. This is just a road with houses on it, just like every other street. And my street is a street. What about you guys? You don't have to tell me the first part, but what is the suffix?
Mine's a lane.
A lane, Bryant.
It's street. I live on a street, so
Street.
ST. And
Street. A
Street
lane.
was in your
Oh,
address?
oh, we'll get to lane.
yeah.
Actually, is lane's not even on here. Oh, there it is. Oh, I'm excited to read that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to read it too.
Okay, boulevard. Huh? A large, wide street with trees on both sides. Trees.
Does it have a lot of broken dreams?
When they decided they were going to be naming they were naming streets, they said, let's make sure we factor in trees. Now, an interesting side note is the town I grew up in, which is not far from here, there was a main road, and it was called Boulevard. Just Boulevard. It did not have another name. It was just the Boulevard. Lane. A narrow road, often in a rural area. Brad.
I mean, it's in my we have what's called sections. They could be called developments, whatever you want to call it. There's the drive, there's lane, there's way. There's a lot of
Cows,
different, huh?
cows,
There's definitely not cows.
horses.
We are not rural. You know where I live. I'm 30 minutes from, I'm actually 15 minutes from the outskirts of Philly.
No. So not very
Northeast
consistently
Philly.
a drive, often taking its contours from the natural environment, like a mountain or a lake.
Okay, first off, I would say that about everything in my development. Like everything is just going whatever way it is. What does that mean? Contours. No, I don't. This is very inconsistent.
I think it means like if it's called Mountain Drive, that's because there's a mountain nearby.
Yeah. Well, we're Vermilion Hills is what name of my section development, and it is hilly.
Yeah, it's hilly.
It is hilly.
Yeah.
Very hilly.
How about way? A small street off a road.
Yeah. Our way is big here.
Now, this one I think rings true and is not inconsistent. A court. It ends in a circle or a loop and does not provide a throughway. I would
Yeah, I
say
agree
that
with
is true of every court I've ever been in.
Yeah.
True.
There's a cul-de-sac, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Plaza, also called a square, an open public space surrounded by buildings or streets.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having that in my address.
This one I like, and this could be true. And I'm going to pay attention when I'm out in the world. A terrace, usually used to describe a street following the top of a slope.
Sure.
Top of a hill, and maybe that street is named a terrace, right?
I don't remember the last terrace I've been on.
The last terrace I lived in was my apartment complex when I was in college. So
The town I grew up in that I referenced that had Boulevard also had Terrace Avenue.
Yeah, I have a street road.
Yeah, street? No.
what?
And it's huge. It's huge. It's in Ben Salem. Street road.
How did you not start the conversation with that?
Because I didn't start the conversation, you did.
Street road.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
huge. Believe it or not, I work off a street road.
That is amazing.
Street road.
Street road. It's not even weird anymore.
How about a place, a road or street that usually has no throughway? I don't know. This one I believe to be very true out in the world. Frontage road, also known as an access road or a service road,
I have one of those here.
runs parallel to a larger road, providing local access. Anytime I see frontage road, that's usually what it is.
Yeah, but those are so rare.
They're not that rare.
I don't have any.
All right. We don't need to read these. Highway, interstate, turnpike, freeway. Turnpike, part of a highway, usually a toll road.
Yeah.
Freeway, part of a highway system. Large road with 2 or more lanes on each side. Parkway, a large decorated public road.
We have a Levittown Parkway here. Very decorated.
How about this one? Then again, this one is pretty consistent. Causeway, a raised road that passes across low or swampy ground or water, right?
Correct.
Beltway, a highway surrounding a city. That is true. A crescent, a winding road that resembles a crescent. Never seen one of those.
That's new to me. I have a Crescent Drive, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Alley, a small pathway between buildings which may or may not be drivable. Sure.
I would like to live in an alley. Alley sounds
Thank God you
badass.
told me.
I
Man,
would
thank God you
like-
told me that. I've wondered what they've been called for years. Oh.
I would like to live in an alley, he says.
I just want to have my address, Alley.
I would like, there are some unfortunate folks that live in alleys, and I don't think they have that feeling about it.
So fun fact on that though, I had a friend whose house was the alley, but he had to be the street address, but half. So like it was 723 and a half, but he had to get to his house. You had to go through the alley.
Very cool.
Right off a street road.
Yep.
All right,
I've said that a lot.
we're gonna end these scrambled eggs with a bang. Esplanade, a long open path near the ocean.
Does that mean you go in the ocean?
No.
You could just draw. You can lemming your way
Just whoop right in.
right. Yes. All right, guys. You asked for scrambled eggs. You got it.
We sure did. And I think we commented enough throughout. So that brings us to Bryant for the omelet. Let's have it.
So a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, I don't know, time's irrelevant at this point. I talked about movie sequels that were so horrible that it just kind of taints the legacy a little bit. This week, I wanted to talk about movie sequels that exceeded expectations and maybe even put that first movie to shame a little bit. You know, some situations barring. Uh, Now, naturally, there are tons of sequels out there that are amazing and help tie the first story together or just continuations of the story. What I want to talk about is just sequels that, to me, are better than the first movie. Now, I will preface by saying, to me, that is not, everyone has their opinions. Obviously, my fellow eggs will probably jump in with their insights and their movies as well, especially with a movie executive that we have. But I just picked three movies that I enjoyed the sequel to more than I enjoyed the original movie. So I'm going to go with Marvel to start. And naturally, as I said previously, I've only seen one Marvel movie, and that's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. But for me, I loved Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock. That story with just the transition, the characters, and how it built to, Doc Ock coming for his revenge. And then you have the plight of Peter Parker with Mary Jane and, and with his friends and how he's trying to balance everything. And it's so much better than the first movie. The highlight of the first movie is obviously Bonesaw McGraw, but that first movie is just that good introduction. The second movie is what stamps the franchise. And to me, that is the better of the movies. Now, there was a third movie, obviously, which, to be realistic, was terrible. To me, I'll say it. It was terrible. I didn't like it.
Black Spider-Man was awesome, but okay.
Yeah, no, I did not like it. I think it was just more because it stopped right there. If it would have continued, I probably could have thought differently on that. But I thought the story was inconsistent.
A scrambled egg. Some would say a scrambled egg.
There it is, and which we could do. Another one that I threw on here for what I call funsies is I loved Addams Family's Values more than the Addams Family, the first movie. The second movie is where Uncle Fester falls in love. The kids have to go to camp. There's the story of, there's this love story. In the first movie, it's, they're looking for Uncle Fester. They bring in this quote unquote fake Uncle Fester who gets his memory back. It's a good story to introduce the family, but the second movie, if you didn't know was the second movie, you would never know because it just ties in so well to making it its own story. You have, and like I said, the fun for me is watching the kids go to camp and when they put Wednesday in the torture room, as I'm calling it, and just force her to watch happy shows like the Brady Bunch and stuff like that. And then she does the smile that scares the whole camp. I love that scene. It just makes me laugh every time. I'm going to go for an obvious one for my third movie, which is The Dark Knight Rises. Way better to me than Batman Begins. Batman Begins was a good movie. The introduction of the Christian Bale character, his version of Batman. The Dark Knight Rises, you're never going to outdo that Joker character of Heath Ledger. And, then you have the plight of Harvey Dent as well. And it's just a great story that, again, you could almost use that as the first movie and it would just be completely fine and make the franchise good. Batman Begins. Oh yeah. Batman Begins is an okay movie, but The Dark Knight Rises is what cements it as a great franchise. To me. And then
the way it begins is great. With the bank robbery.
The bank robbery. Absolutely. Yeah.
So good.
Yes. And then, then I'm going to throw in a bonus one real quick here that I had down. I picked also Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Because the first Terminator is a good movie. I will say that, the story of, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character coming back for Sarah Connor and everything. But Terminator 2, where you have the introduction of her son, and then you have the introduction of him now saving Sarah's son to help and and preserve the future. Completely different twist to the story, but it's just at the same time seems like a different movie than the first movie completely. And I think that's what makes it unique and different and better than the first movie because you could put them separate and it still fits perfectly to me. So I will ask my fellow eggs. I'm sure Brad has some. I don't know, Matt, if you want to comment or you have your own as well, go right ahead.
I'd like to comment.
Go for it.
So it's been a while since I've seen those Spider-Man movies, but I do remember two being very good. Was three did you say this? Was three the one with Topher Grace as Venom?
Yes.
What a terrible movie that was.
Thank you.
How could he be cast as a villain? He shouldn't even be cast, period. But he's supposed to be like this mega villain, this
Yeah.
evil character.
I think that's the part that threw me off the most was having Topher Grace be that character. Like, don't get me wrong, he's good in roles, but like, I just didn't buy that part of the movie. And then, like, yeah, that movie to me kind of just sours me a little bit. But like I said, if it had continued, maybe think differently on it.
Yeah. Also, I think you were talking about The Dark Knight, not The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh yes, The Dark Knight. Yes, I apologize. Yes, because
Um,
Rises is the third one.
the third one was
Yes.
Bane. That one was
Yes.
very good too.
Yeah, Dark Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I made a little list here. I don't think anybody agrees with me, but I think Toy Story 2 is the best Toy Story.
I checked that off my list now. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was actually that was one I thought of, but I thought you guys would talk about
Yeah.
it. So
I mean, the first one's great. The third one is also great and very sad. I like the second one the best. That's just my opinion.
I love it.
yeah, love
I
it.
love that movie.
How about and I also had Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That movie was a blockbuster.
Oh, hands
Without
down,
that
absolutely.
movie, there wouldn't have been it wouldn't be the ongoing franchise that it is still.
Oh, completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the computer effects with the T-1000 morphing, I mean, that was pretty groundbreaking for the early 90s.
Mhm.
How about this one? Wayne's World 2.
I don't remember.
That movie is very good considering how funny the first one is. They put on Wayne stock.
The Wayne Stock concert. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I liked it. I just don't remember a lot.
Christopher Walken is like the villain in that one.
Mhm. I still just love that first movie so much. I don't know. I could see where you're going with it. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it's a worthy second effort following what I think is a classic in the first one.
Mhm.
And I also feel that way about Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, I think was met with disappointment at first, but if you watch it now, it is just pure maximum Jim Carrey at his Jim Carreyest being just unbelievably funny the entire time.
So with me, I agree with you. I love that movie, but the first one was just, I think it's the originality of the first one. That is why I always stick with the first one. Because
I'm
I
not
didn't know
saying-
Jim Carrey much before that. I didn't know his humor that much. I didn't watch In Living Color. So he was brand new to me. But I still like it. Still good. It's very worthy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm saying that it's better than the original one.
Okay.
When Pet Detective, but it's not a big drop off. It doesn't
Okay.
get enough credit.
No, it's good.
I could see that. I mean, I that one to me, I could see as well because, like I said, for that one, I remember scenes. I don't remember the movie, but I remember like spots
Yeah.
in the movie, like when he's coming out of the rhino's butt.
Sure,
Comedy, just pure comedy.
kind of hot in these rhinos.
Yeah.
All right, last one, and this is probably my favorite sequel. And I think that if the original movie was like a 4 out of 10, this movie was like a 10 out of 10. How about Bad Boys 2? I mean, that movie is an unbelievable action movie to this day. That is Michael Bay at his Michael Bayest.
Mm.
Every scene outdoing the last. Incredible camera work on original stuff on a lot of these scenes. And it was just like amazing action scene, chases and explosions and blowing up a house and is funny. Great movie. I still I'll still find myself watching it here and there because it's so good. It's like over 20 years old, this movie.
I can't disagree. It was really good. I forgot it again. This list can like my list
Oh,
is.
it could go on forever. Yeah.
I actually tried to be a little different on my list because I don't know, but I mean I can't disagree with that. So all right, so if you want to talk about generalities, I think the number one sequel of all time that they say was better than the first, and this isn't necessarily me, but it's what they say is The Godfather Part Two.
Yes.
It was
It's a great
you got the story of both of them, the father and the son. You go back and you flashbacks, the Italian speak. Even though it had subtitles, it was just very well done. But that's not what we're talking about, right? But that's the one that everybody would talk about when they're talking about the original sequel.
That was actually what I was going to bring up at the end of this. Is that is considered the greatest sequel of all time in anywhere you look. Everyone considers that better than the first movie. Everywhere you look. So, yes.
And to get on the terrible side of things, I have exhausted Daddy's Home 2, so we won't talk about that again. Okay. So I'm going to talk about some movies that you maybe guys remember, don't remember, but I guarantee neither of you have seen this one. If anybody had ever seen Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, Evan Almighty is fantastic. Okay. It is so much better than Bruce Almighty. So it's Steve Carell, and he is visited by God, who's Morgan Freeman, very appropriate, I think, and gives him basically he is Noah from Noah's Ark, and the animals come to him. He builds the ark. I love that movie, and I know that the first what's weird about it is the first movie wasn't that great for them to make a sequel. I thought Bruce Almighty, but I thought it was a better sequel. So, also, Lethal Weapon 2 is a fun movie.
Yeah.
Now, and the reason I like it so much better than the first one is because Mel Gibson's character in the first one is kind of a basket case. Okay. And it just takes a long time for that trust and that relationship between the two of them to, as partners to develop. But in 2, they're there. It's funny. They get right into it. And that is a nonstop action movie and a hilarious movie as well.
That's a good. I agree with that one. And you made me think of, and this franchise has lasted many years, and I think the final movie just came out, but the first Mission Impossible movie was like, okay, and all the rest of them were like significantly better movies.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Agreed. Night at the Museum was really a great movie. You know, you had Robin Williams as Theodore Roosevelt. I thought it was great. But Night at the Museum's 2, with Hank Azaria playing, I don't know if he was like a king or a prince or something like that. And he was trying to take over at the Smithsonian. And the Smithsonian has so much in it that you wouldn't even think about. And when Darth Vader comes into it and he says to him, Hank Azaria says to him, let me tell you something, just simplify. There's too much going on here. You're not evil. You're asthmatic. And what's with the cape? Are we going to the opera? I don't know. Goodbye. Like funny stuff like that. And, you know, and he does that through the whole movie. Like he's like this leader, but he's kind of a joke as well. And and there's so many great characters in that movie. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. And then 2 easy ones that I threw in here that I think a lot of people would agree. I wouldn't say Rocky 2 is better than Rocky 1, but it has a really great ending. And
yes,
it's that moment that probably made the Rocky franchise what it is, because he did do it. He did overcome the champion and won. There's some slow parts of the movie, but I still thought it had a great ending. And you know what? The Creed franchise is the reason I like 2 so much is because they go back to the Russian roots of Rocky 4. And I don't think anybody, even if it's not the best written or maybe not winning awards, everybody loves Rocky 4, right? Everybody loves Rocky 4. And they hit into that kind of like maybe Cobra Kai did with you know, some of the Karate Kid. Like they just hit into those with, you know, with Ivan Drago, his wife, and then now his son. I thought it was really good. I'm not saying it was better than the first one, but for someone that was young and went to the theater to see Rocky 4, I enjoyed it. So those are mine.
Creed 2 is a phenomenal movie. It's one of the best Rocky movies.
Yeah.
It's the perfect tie-in because, you know, it's the story of him still making his name, but now it's that revenge factor, a little bit of, you know, your dad killed my father, like,
and the way it ends.
And the way it ends. Oh,
the way it ends is just, it's this perfect writing.
Amazing ending.
Amazing ending.
Yes.
Boy, that was fun, Bryant. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was about to say this is what this is about. It's, you know, like I said, we covered both sides of it, where the sequel helps the story continue and where the sequel kind of kills your franchise a little bit. Kind of that give and take, that yin and yang here. And, you know, but this is what makes us anyone love going to the movies, is that continuation of the story and how can it be different and how does it get better? So, Brad, back to you.
So, of course, we're going to talk about more television, or now we're talking about television because we just talked about the movies. So what's hatching? Because we're not talking about Money in the Bank, right, guys? Because we don't know how it ended, right, Matt?
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. So hatching is what we're watching. And Matt, what are you watching?
So there is something about wrestling. On ESPN Plus, Stephanie McMahon has her own show called Stephanie's Places. Now, ESPN has different series with different personalities. So and so's Places. I've never watched any others. She basically just follows around a wrestler or a talent in WWE for a couple days, interviews them, explores their life. She's a great interview. The subjects are usually very, very interesting. And it's like 20 minutes. It's like a quick watch. It's a great, great show. Pat McAfee, Undertaker, Roman Reigns, big names. Some names are known outside of the wrestling world too. And it's just a really well done show. Anything that WWE has their fingers on is going to be really well produced material, even if you don't like wrestling. So I wanted to share that. And one regular show that I have been watching, and it's not even that great of a show, but I've been watching it. It's called Poker Face. It's not a great show. It's on Peacock. Natasha Lyonne is the star. She's kind of the attraction of the show. She's smart and witty, and is the type of show where there's a different setting every episode. So you kind of get to hit reset on the situation. And it's kind of funny. It is made by Ryan Johnson, who's a director and writer that I like, that has done a Star Wars movie and also what are those movies called? Knives Out. Those are great movies if you guys haven't seen those. So it's just something I've been watching. It's not an A plus, but it's something I've been watching.
So that's mine. Poker Face. And I disagree with you. I'm on I think I'm in season 2, episode 3. I think it's a great fun show. It's silly in a lot of it. It's expand more on what it is, it's every week she's basically the Incredible Hulk. And what I mean by that, if you watch the old Incredible Hulk series,
Did she turn green?
she goes from town to town and nobody knows her. She's a drifter. She has no money, she's on the run, and she just goes to town and she has to work jobs that basically pay cash. But her skill is that she knows when someone's lying and when they're not. Poker Face. And she has new friends, and there's a new case every week that she gets involved in because she can tell that someone's lying. And there's almost always completely new actors every single week. People have been on like Adrian Brody, John Ratzenberger, Chloe. I can never say her last name. Chloe Savini.
Sure.
Sure.
Judith Light, which was my favorite episode. It was in a nursing home. Ellen Barkin, Simon Helberg, who was in Big Bang Theory. And Katie Holmes was in a recent episode. I think it's a really fun show.
Yeah.
You can't take it too seriously, but I'm always interested to see who's in it, really, and I find it entertaining.
Nice. I see the commercials all the time for it on Peacock and USA. So yeah, I might have to try to check that out a little bit. For me, I'm going with what am I watching? I'm watching what every millennial and person my age is watching. I'm watching the new season of Rick and Morty. Season 8 just came back on the Sunday before Memorial Day. We're 2 episodes in, getting ready. The 3rd episode will be dropping as we record tonight. So for me, it's season 8 of Rick and Morty. It's a little different because with Justin Roiland gone, it does still feel different a little bit. Yeah, you're getting used to the new voices, but for me, it's Rick and Morty and continuing to see how that show progresses and its complete weirdness. So that's what I'm watching right now.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I know, right?
I
Yeah,
never
I'm not.
watched it. Dan Harmon made that show, right? Who made Community? Is that right?
Yes. Yep. Him and Justin Roiland together made that show. Yeah.
I mean, you'd think that I'd like it because of how much I loved Community, but I think I tried to watch one and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know how much animated I can do.
Mhm.
I mean, I still watch Family Guy.
No,
Going-
Family Guy's a great show.
Going on
Family Guy's
20.
great.
Yeah.
Well done, guys. So that comes to me, and I know I had goose eggs on here. I'm gonna make it real quick and sweet. I had a groin injury. It's gone. No, it isn't. It's still there, but that's not what we're gonna talk about. I don't know if you guys have ever had a groin injury before, but it's been 3 weeks now. It only hurts when I try to do a couple things at the gym. I really don't notice except for maybe a little soreness. But when you are actually using that muscle, don't. Okay, just lay off of it. But that I don't need to talk about that. Eggnog is what I want to talk about. It is something that one of the topics that we were going to base this whole show on in its community pages, and I have avoided it because of the negativity that comes with it. But I'm going to get into it this week, which is just an extension of hard boiled. So we got finally in my Falls Township, Pennsylvania, we got those large trash cans. So we've always just put out regular trash cans to the curb. All right. Kind of in the dark ages there a little bit, where most people just bring up the two big ones, the big recyclable one and the big regular one. So we finally got those and they were delivered to us. So all of a sudden on the community pages, everybody's like, why are you guys putting those gigantic cans out so early? The garbage men cannot pick them up. They are too heavy. Please read. So then this is continuing back and forth, and I'm writing what I'm writing, and then I'm writing what they're writing, and then this is going on for 3 days. And this please read is what really gets to me. So what it said was, you have to use it by June 28th, which hasn't come yet. You have to. We started receiving them at the end of May. You have to use them by June 28th. They're not going to take the old cans anymore after June 28th. But you can still use it up until then. And I have seen the trash can pick the can up with the truck and dump it. So who's not reading here is what I'm getting at. I wrote in there, I don't remember what it said, and I had to go back and look, but I literally, and I use that word very often, literally saw the trash can pick it up and put it in. So who did you see picking it up with their bare hands and try to carry it into the back of the garbage can? No one. So you're just starting shit. You're just starting shit for no reason, or you're the one not reading. You're the one not reading. We were allowed to use the cans day one. I've used them. I've also put out other cans there because I want to get rid of some of these old cans. I have like 10 of them. I don't want them anymore. They're beat up. They're done. You're the one that didn't read. How do you create a post of anger for people you don't even know, by the way? You don't know the garbage man or anything like that, or anybody's situation. Like, starting shit. You're allowed to use them. Bottom line is you're allowed to use them. I reread it. You're allowed to use them. You just cannot use anything but them after June 28th. So you're the one that needs to read.
Hard boiled.
Community pages is that kind of stuff on Facebook. I try to stay out of it, but this was actually my sections on Facebook. So I kind of want to know what's going on in my neighborhood. So I've kept that one. I've gotten rid of all the school ones because my kids don't go to school anymore. I gotten rid of all of them, but I've kept that, and I can't believe it. Hard boiled. I'm hard boiled about it because it's something. Just why are we arguing about something so stupid? And you're the one that didn't read. That's all.
People don't read.
But to say that we're not reading and then they didn't read.
Yeah.
That's the killer.
Yeah, that's the killer.
All right, Matt. I think you have the socials this week and next week as a topic, which is probably something very entertaining.
Well, thank you for joining us. We are Two Groins Are Better Than None, and we are cooking up every Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Find us on YouTube at 3 Eggs Are Better Than One, the number 3, the letter R, the number 1. Follow us on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok at 3 Eggs Are Better, the number 3, the letter R, and our individual accounts at YesManBrad, at BHaremza, and I am at Purple Shirt Guy Without the I. How about some 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts? And please join us over on YouTube. We love reading the comments section. I am in charge of next week's omelet, and might be undecided. I do have a fresh batch of questions that I can lean on, but I've been looking into exploring the use of AI, not the use of AI, but AI as it appears in TV and film. And there's been an increased amount of that lately since AI is now in our lives. I'm just not sure if I have enough time to do all the research, but I will get to that episode soon. Bryant, why don't you take us home?
Well, we thank you guys for joining us this week. It's been a fun episode. We hope you've learned, some shows maybe you want to check out. And, as I said, maybe the sequel for you guys maybe the sequel is maybe a little better than the first one here for you. So the egg timer's been set. We'll see you guys next week.